A very emotional ceremony here in Richmond Hill. About 600 people packed the auditorium at the Performing Arts Center. The Prime Minister was also in attendance as we heard from family members about their ongoing grief and their continued fight for justice.
They could not start their married lives together. All their dreams are, taken away brutally from them.
For Navros Ibrahim, the last 5 years have been filled with grief and anger. Her 34-year-old sister Nilafar and her brother-in-law Saeed were among the 176 souls on board the Ukraine International Airlines flight when it crashed in January of 2020. The couple was in Iran to get married and was heading home when the passenger plane was shot at shortly after takeoff.
The loss and the sadness is still very heavy on our hearts. The only hope that we have is seeking truth and justice.
55 Canadian citizens were on board the flight, along with 30 permanent residents. Many others had strong ties to Canada. 3 days after the tragedy, the Iranian military took responsibility but called it an accident, claiming the jetliner was misidentified as a threat. A conclusion Canadian safety officials say was not supported with evidence.
On that day, the plane, it was like we lost our loved ones again. The anger, the shock, it was so unbelievable.
5 years later, grieving families came together once again to keep memories alive as they fight for justice. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau gave an emotional speech as he spoke about the government's push for rigorous and transparent investigations.
It seems so obvious, but no country responsible for shooting down an aircraft should be also responsible for the investigation into how that aircraft crashed. As you all know, this will be my last time attending this event as your Prime Minister. It has been the deepest of honors to be able to be with you, to stand with you, to cry with you, and to accompany you in this fight against a terrible, murderous regime.
Last year, a coalition of affected countries led by Canada initiated a case with the International Court of Justice, which remains ongoing. And while families are grateful for the government's support, they say more can be done.
We want the RCMP of Canada to open a criminal case, finally start an impartial and transparent investigation into the downing of Flight PS752.
Now, this is just one of several ceremonies and vigils happening right across the country this week. Families tell me one of their next pushes will be to have a permanent memorial installed in honor of all 176 victims. In Richmond Hill, Shauna Hunt, City News.